Hey everyone. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to divide imaginary numbers when you have two terms in your numerator. Okay, so it follows the same process as our prior video. We're trying to get rid of any imaginary numbers that we have in our denominator by rationalizing. And the way we do that is we're going to multiply both the numerator and denominator by our imaginary number I. Now, when we're multiplying by I over I, again, that's not changing our answer here. All it's doing is it's like the same thing as multiplying by 1 because it's I over I. Okay, so let's go ahead and multiply that. Okay, so on the top it is distributive property. I'm going to distribute that I into our parentheses. So negative 1 times I is a negative 1I. And then 5I times I is going to be a positive 5I squared. Right, in our denominator it's negative 2I times I, which is going to give me a negative 2I squared. Now keep in mind, anywhere I have an I squared, we know that those are going to become negative 1s. We know that from our prior videos. Negative 1I, and then again it's going to be positive 5 times negative 1 over negative 2, and again the I squared is going to be replaced with a negative 1. All right, continue to simplify. We have a negative 1I minus 5 over positive 2. And for our final answer, we can split this and simplify anything we can. So we have negative 1I over 2 minus 5 over 2. Now, if you'd like to write it in complex number form, sometimes we like to write the real part first. We can do that as well. So it would be negative 5 over 2 minus 1I over 2. And that would be in complex number form. All right, let's take a look at one more example. Okay, so following our process here, we see that we have an I in our denominator, which we can't have, so I'm going to multiply both the numerator and denominator by I. The numerator, again, we're going to distribute that I, so it's going to become negative 2I, and then negative 8I times I is going to give me a negative 8I squared. And then in the denominator, 4I times I is going to give me a 4I squared. Right, next I want to replace any of my I squareds that I have with a negative 1, so it's going to be negative 8. And again, replacing my I squared with a negative 1. And then 4I squared is going to become 4 times negative 1. Continue simplifying. We have a positive 8 now, and then 4 times negative 1 is going to give me a negative 4. Now you could simplify this here. They're all divisible by 2, but I'm just going to simplify it all at the end. Let me go ahead and split it. So I have negative 2I over negative 4. 8 over negative 4. And we'll write our final answer here, simplifying each of these. Negative 2 over negative 4 is going to be 1I over 2. And then 8 divided by negative 4 is a negative 2. So there you have our final answer. Again, if you'd like to rewrite this in complex number form using the writing the real part first and then the imaginary part after, it would be negative 2 plus 1I over 2, or really just I over 2. And there's your final answer. Okay, so again, when you're rationalizing these, you're just multiplying the numerator and denominator by I in order to, again, get a real number in your denominator and get rid of any imaginary numbers that you have in the denominator. In your final answer, you should only have imaginary numbers in your numerator.